that's the thing I want our guys to understand, is that we don't start looking at the top of the mountain. We just look at the next step. And I think our team and our staff and everybody's doing a good job of that. And the administration's helping us with some things to help keep these guys fresh. And because this is a big challenge, and, playing in the pit, as you guys that have covered basketball and that have been down there have seen it firsthand. I think Rachel, I think you even said something to me a couple of years ago. We're like, oh my gosh, coming down and seeing it live is so different. And so you got to be prepared for it. You got to be tough enough to handle it, and you got to have your minds right to do it. You're not just showing up and strolling in there and getting it done, no doubt.
You mentioned the administration helping you out. I assume the charter flight there and back is a nice benefit of that. How does that just, not having to turn around today or try to go straight from Reno? I mean, what does some of that kind of stuff do to help? It may seem like a small deal, but getting the extra part of the day today to have practice and prep.
Absolutely. It's a huge advantage. I mean, teams that get to charter all the time, what a huge advantage over the course of a season it is, because of the amount of time you have for prep, for taking care of your bodies, for working out, for, where it can take you an hour and a half or 2 hours to get to a city. It can take you 6 to 8 hours, and that's with no delays sometimes if you have to connect through other cities and all that stuff. So there's a lot of wear and tear that you avoid by having that ability to do that. And they're so much more efficient. You can use that time for prep and practice and shooting and being on the court, and all that stuff makes a huge difference. And it's cumulative over the course of a season.
So did you guys practice yesterday then, or no? Or what's kind of been the schedule?
No, no. Today is our first prep day. We got some recovery stuff done yesterday, all that kind of stuff. So today, that's the thing. It's a fine balance between how much you can do, how much because you want to do more, but you're also like, okay, the most important thing is our health and our how hard we play. And although those are always the most important things you have, not, if all 50 of their plays, that's secondary. And as coaches, sometimes you get caught up in wanting them to know all 50, all that stuff. So it's, that's something that with experience, you learn that's the most important thing.
I'll heed the floor to whoever's next.
Okay, I'll go. Knowing that you have this tough stretch, what do you do to help keep your guys physically fresh and ready to go?
A lot of those things that we talked about, and just the, everything matters as far as nutrition and rest and stretching and weights and how much water you drink, all these things, and then the mind, we control our minds, and we control the way we take care of the things we can control. Because when you're on the road and you're playing these games, you're going to run into things you can't control. And so that's part of facing any challenge, is really focusing on controlling things you can control.
You touched on it briefly, but KenPom.com obviously gives the Pitt like the 5th best home court advantage in all of Division I. Obviously, we've seen benches cleared there before. I think somebody tried to spit on you, I think, at one point.
It wasn't tried. They didn't try.
Did. I mean, its tensions are always high there. Why do you think that is?
They're passionate about their Lobos. I mean, that's what I appreciate about it, actually, is that, that's why I love Snake. He's one of the most passionate fans in the history of college basketball. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And they got a whole fan base that's like that. I respect it and appreciate it. Not that I enjoy being spit upon, but hey, take the good with the bad, I guess.
Boost, you got one?
Yep. Yeah. So I guess for those of us who haven't got to experience the Pit, what is it that makes it so tough? Is it the rabid fan base? Is it, kind of it's so low, the sound echoes? Is it a combination of everything, or what really makes it tough? And
you got to remember you're at altitude too.
Yeah.
So I think it's the combination, like you said, you hit on those other things. Absolutely. And it gets loud in there, and unless you're you got to be mentally prepared for that a little bit. Because I remember one year we were in pretty good control of the game, it was when Derek Marks was here and we were in pretty good control and we turned it over and they dunked it and the roof almost came off and you feel like, oh no, we must be down 20, but you're still up 12 or whatever. You're like, oh, wow, that didn't, so you almost have to be mentally prepared to know what's, that it can be deceiving and it can, and it gives their team momentum and it can take momentum away from teams that maybe aren't mentally mature enough to handle that.
You also mentioned, kind of having to trade, give rest days instead of practice, for a team that's going as well as your team has been going the last month. Is it kind of a detriment to not be able to practice, or do you kind of say, okay, well, we know what we're doing, so let's just keep things rolling?
Well, it can be both a little bit, I think, because, when the dice are hot, you want them back in your hands as quick as you can. You don't want the stick guys to slow down the game, and you want to let's keep it rolling. And so you do want to be out there with them, but you want them fresh and excited. So when we do get together, we're all excited to see each other. We're fresh. We're not just dragging through things or going through any kind of motions. We're getting stuff done.
And then have you guys been doing charter planes all year, or are you just something recent that you started doing?
No, we've been, we've done it historically through,
Okay, I wasn't
but
sure. So
it's just kind of been, it hasn't been every time, and it hasn't been, the more you can get, the better off you are.
gotcha. All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Will, you have one?
Leon, you look at New Mexico, what's the biggest thing that stands out to you about them?
Well, God, you watch that Utah State game. Holy cow, they were just explosive and playing great. And you can tell they're getting more comfortable with their system. Their new, they look terrific. And Utah State was really, they're a really good team. Utah State is, and they were really, really fortunate to get out of there with a win.
Well,
Go ahead, BJ.
Oh, I was like, particularly the guards, that they've got there, and their percentage isn't great, but they love to shoot the 3 ball. And they've had a couple of games where they've gotten really hot from the outside. And it's not just one guy, it's 2 or 3. What do you see from their guards?
Yeah, that's the key. And you're right. They, and what you're talking about too is summed up by the Utah State game. That first half of the Utah State game, holy cow, were they terrific. And, that, like I said, they were really, really fortunate to get out of there with a win. And, they looked unguardable in that first half. So those guards are really, really explosive in the score, and they're moving the ball and they're playing really unselfish, I thought.
And they got, some Power 5 transfers, obviously some of their main players and stuff, but Richard Pitino too, obviously in his first year. Do you know him at all? And what do you think he's going to, seem like a good fit there?
Yeah, no doubt. He's a great coach and a great guy, and got a good feel for the game, good recruiter. He checks all the boxes, no doubt.
Will he be back tomorrow?
Yeah,
I haven't seen. Okay.
Supposed to be. That's what I'm hearing.
You guys good? I gotta get Leon to practice.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Bob.
Yep.
Bob.
Yeah.
We gotta do Bob.